Hi guys, this is Madhvi from TaroticallySpeaking.com. How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Today is a new moon day, and I just felt like, okay, I should share this with you because yesterday, as I was talking to one of my students in our class, I just, casually just shared this ritual that I used to do, and she's like, this is awesome. And I was like, maybe I should share it with everybody. Maybe you're doing a version of this already, but here's my little ritual-ish thing that I do. Um, what I've experienced is, and this whole thing started with a conversation about, when we were but we were learning the suit of swords, and then before that we were learning the suit of cups. And I shared with my student, I told her that, every time I teach the suit of cups, I feel really thirsty, and then I have to go to the bathroom because drinking water or whatever. I have to go. And then when I'm teaching the suit of swords, I get a little bit of a headache. And this, it's little now, but years ago when I used to teach it, it used to give me like this horrible headache. And so when we are working with certain suits, sometimes that energy just embodies. And I guess over time I learned how to control it, how to sort of protect myself from it. But so she was like, this is intriguing. And that brought me to another sort of experience which I had back in the day. Is back then, after a reading, I would shuffle the cards and I would choose a specific card. I mean, I just kind of stumbled on that, right? I One day I finished a reading, I shuffled the cards, and I said, oh, this is a nice card. It was the sun card or something. And I kept my deck away. That day and the next couple of days were bright and sunny, and some days were really sunny. And then I had another reading, and then I ended up putting the temperance card, and then it became so nice, so better, so calm. Even the energy of the work that I was doing during the day changed. And I realized that it was like the last card from the bottom of the deck was bringing that energy into my life. And then I started consciously choosing specific cards, you know, and putting them at the back of my deck. And back then I had like the one or maybe two decks that I would, really use. And so when we were talking about this, she said, "Oh my God," because she also has had similar experiences. And so I was like, "See, this is what happens." So, long story short, I started sharing with her a ritual because, see, what happens is when we work with cards, we want to embody that energy, or we want to bring that energy into our lives. It's very, it's a personal thing sometimes that you choose specific cards to bring that energy into your life, for whatever reason, whatever inner work you're doing. And sometimes we randomly just pick a card and say, okay, what energy is going on right now? It's more like a predictive and a guidance, a little difference between that a prediction or just chance will tell you what's going on, whereas when you're consciously choosing some energy, it will be something that you're bringing into your life. And I think as visual aids, as tools to focus that energy on, cards are perfect. And in my experience, you can use tarot cards as well, but you can use oracle cards. And oracle cards, and depending on the kind of work you're doing, oracle cards can be super duper perfect. So, of late, there have been these two decks that I've stumbled upon. There is this deck called the Archeo, personal archetype cards. I don't know if this will come upright or the mirror image will show up in the video, but I will show you the how I work with it in a little bit. This is a great deck. The cards are pretty. I mean, this is the size of the box, but the cards are slightly smaller than this. And basically, each card is all about archetypes. There are archetypal images on each of the cards, and you work with that. So, if let's say you are working with, you can, again, like I said, you can either choose a very specific archetype that calls out to you and work with it, or you can just let randomness and synchronicity do the job. Similarly, there is another one, especially for shadow work, right? This one is called the dark mirror. It's a little The cards are a little uh, dark. Well, the name says raw. This is a good one. This is something I like to work with because I really am fascinated by that kind of imagery too. Now, there is another deck that I have recently got. Let me pull it up. This one is called the Cosmovisions Tarot deck. There you go. I think I may have even done a video of it recently. Now, this one works with imagery, in between lives. So you can, if you're working with energy to do with past lives, for instance, right? So what am I bringing in, or what am I working on? What kind of past life karma am I working on? This deck can be really intriguing in that department. What else? Oh yeah, we also have, now you can use your affirmation decks also in this particular way. So for instance, I have these two. I have this universe has my back, or your back. It has my back, and the super attractor, right? So these are two decks which come from, I think both were made created by Gabriel Bernstein. I mean, the idea was, and the artwork is Michaela Ezra. I'm sorry if I made a mistake in the pronunciation somewhere. So yes, these can be great, like if you're working with affirmations to bring a specific energy into your life. Okay. There's also another one. Hang on. Yeah, this is great. This is created by Chris Ann, who made the Lightseers Tarot and the Muse Tarot, and this is the Sacred Creators Oracle deck. Again, this one has a beautiful, beautiful energy. I like how it sort of works so amazingly well with this one, the Muse Tarot that she created, right? Uh, Kickstarter, guys. Yeah, you'll spend money. Point is, you can use whatever decks you have in combination, and especially when you have decks with a very specific theme, like for instance the Cosmovision is all about in between two lifetimes, past life, reincarnation, that sort of a thing. Or the Muse Tarot is to do with inspiration and sort of guidance for work, for creative work. And then you have an Oracle deck. So you can use tarot decks, you can use oracle decks. Oracle decks sometimes have imagery, or like in the Sacred Creators Oracle, they just have nice affirmations on it. Like on the Universe Has Your Back, the artwork is just artwork, and then you have words which are really powerful. But then you have the Dark Mirror and the Archeo, which also are like full of imagery that is going to really be powerful. The point is, you can work with these oracles, but again, let's say you say, hey Madhvi, you have all these 50,000 decks. Okay, not 50,000, but I'm aiming, I'll get there, I think, in about, first I need space for those decks. Okay, off on tangent, come back. Point is, okay, so I have many decks, and so I can play with different kinds of imagery vibes. I get it. But what if you just have maybe one or two decks? Hey, play with those. Okay, the beautiful part about tarot is that literally even your even your rider weight, okay, is perfect for all of this work as well. Okay, all of these things are there somewhere in the rider weight imagery as well. So you don't have to be like, oh no, I have to go and buy a new deck. Hey, if that gives you an excuse to go buy a deck, don't let me stop your thing, go do it. But if you are, say, on a budget, if you're unlimited, this thing, that's fine too. Just work with the deck you have. I'm just saying that if you have all these decks, or if you need an excuse to get all these decks, I'm enabling you, right? So with all that said, sometimes so you can choose. So you'll be like, okay, so when do we do these, when do we do these rituals? And again, I will say, do it when it is easy and comfortable for you, when it works for you. Do what works for you, because that's how it will work for you. So for instance, if some of us are more like, okay, I'm a monthly planner, and so I will do all of this work before the month begins. So at the end of each month, I will set up my table, my altar for, for the next month, and I'm going to do that 30, 31 day period. If that works for you, go rock your world. Okay. Then there are some of us who like to work with the moon, which I sometimes try to do that because I've seen that it's easier to align with moon cycles. I don't know why. It's just something that happens to me. So you work with full moon, new moon, and in between all the moon stages if you want to. I mean, I keep it simple. I like the full moon and the new moon. So you can do that too. So that gives you like a roughly 15-day period to work with, things. And so what I do is like today is the new moon. So new moon is all about, in the sky, the moon is there, but we don't see it because of the earth shadow and all science stuff. So that means there's an empty slate, blank, clean slate, right? And then slowly, slowly the moon becomes bigger. So what is it that you want to grow in your life? What are the, you plant your seeds and you have to grow. And all the way to the full moon when the seeds will flower and bear fruit, like, in that way. So and you have to work, if you're working with bigger projects, longer projects, then you have to bear that in mind that, projects go in that up and down swing. So you can time it to go with the moon cycle. So let's say you have to do something, say in the next 10 or 15 days. Keep that kind of a, timeline, or even if in a couple of days, that's fine too. But, it has to be within that, so that it makes more sense. But if it's a longer project, then you have to time it with the moon cycles up and down like that. Let me explain then. So what happens is, what do I want to grow in the next 10, 15 days? What do I want? What kind of energy, say, I want to bring into my life? So then I will take something which is very, very positive, some kind of positive energy that I want to bring into my life. So I might work with the sacred creators oracle energy, or one of these, really positive affirmation deck energies, or just pull a very beautiful card from, the tarot deck. So, for instance, I want to work, say, you're a magician. I want to bring that creative leadership energy into my vibe. I will pull the magician card and I will have it there on my altar. So it helps if you're working with your second deck, because if, let's say, you're a reader and you have to do readings for yourself and other people, then you have one card out on your altar and you can't just put it back, that kind of thing. So it will always help if you're working with your second deck. So yes, so you take that card and you really, you look at it, you maybe meditate with it, you do the entering a card meditation, you and rituals, whatever rituals work for you. Personally, I'm a, let's keep it short and simple kind of a person. I don't like too many elaborate rituals. It's just too much work for me, and my brain doesn't function that way. I'm more easier with just focus on the image and set the intent kind of a vibe. So that's what works for me. But if you like, you want to light candles, you want to do the incense, you want to put music on, you want to say a prayer, you want to do a meditation, you want to do the singing bowls, go wild, do your thing, right? Point is, choose a visual that will embody the energy you want to grow in this 15-day period, or bring in this. Grow means bringing into your life, like slowly, slowly, slowly. So I take the magician, for instance, and I work with that energy all the way to the full moon day. Now, what do you mean by working with that energy? Working with that energy means really every day you take 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever time you have. I mean, and this is something that will give you results. So put in the effort. Sit in front of an altar, or stand in front of an altar, look at the image, focus on it and say, hey, like for instance, with the magician, is like, I'm bringing this energy into my life. I want to be creative. I want to bring that ability to manifest that the magician is all about. I want to bring in the ability to lead. I want to bring in the energy, the wisdom of knowledge, and the, the whole magician vibe into my being. And for maybe even if you're that way inclined, you can stand like that, like the magician does. Do what you need to do, even if it is for 2 minutes, just for a minute. You're the magician. You're there. You're doing it, and carry that energy, carry that feeling with you through the day, and do it continuously for this period of say 15 days till the full moon happens. And so you will actually be able to get, or and then you can journal, which is again my favorite thing, journaling. So every day when you're say writing your morning pages, or in the evening if you're journaling your day, or whenever, just find a moment to sit down and journal and write about this card, write about your magician energy that you experienced in the day. Write about the moment where you tried to bring that into your day. So, stuff like this. Talk about it, write about it, bring it into your being by actually doing stuff. So, again, don't be bogged down by the rituals of, like, say, for instance, I said, do this, do that, journal. Okay, these are my rituals, but what are your rituals? What would you do? Be creative, be as inventive and creative as you would like to be, right? There is no limit to the kind of rituals that you could or you would do in this department. So this is when, from new moon to full moon, you're bringing or embodying the energy into your work. And so then you're like, okay, what will happen once full moon happens? You say, oh, thank you. You're grateful. Gratitude is important, right? So on the day of the full moon, when you're now going to change your cards up, you say thankful, you say thank you, you are thankful, you're grateful, you say thank you to the magician card, you say thankful to the magician energy for coming into your life and showing you how that energy could transform your life even in little ways. You can journal about it, then you put that card away, right? And then from the full moon to the new moon, now the moon is becoming smaller and smaller and going back to being invisible. Now you're going to work with the energy that you want to let go of. So that's when stuff like this can come into being. The dark mirror oracle, this is talking about the darker side, shadow work, for instance. This is talking about the energy that you don't want. So maybe my favorite energy that I don't want is the Four of Cups, the whole procrastination. I'm just like the queen of procrastination. So I often work with that energy, and I'm like, I don't want this energy to be around me. I don't want to procrastinate. There's so many things on my to-do list which I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. I'm not feeling it. I work with that energy, and I have to consistently keep doing that. Nobody's going to come encourage me. I have to encourage myself, just like we all have to do it, right? So that's when I pick cards which, the energy inside of me that I want to sort of go away. Or there are some people who, sometimes I work with the Eight of Swords energy. Oh my God, that card has been the bane of my life, right? Self-imposed limitations, the inner fears and restrictions that kind of pull you into a place where you feel like you can't do anything. But you can, but it's your inner fears that stop you. So I will put the cards on the screen when I make the video. So these are the things. So I work with that energy. So these are the energies that you want to sort of go away. And sometimes it so happens that you have to keep at it. And it requires some certain amount of self-awareness, I would say. That you're like, oh, I'm being this way. I'm being Eight of Swords. I am being Knight of Pentacles. I'm being Four of Cups. Or I'm being Six of Cups, nostalgia, right? So you have to really, really realize that, okay, I'm getting into that frame of mind, which is not healthy for me at this point. I need to get rid of it. So what do? You work with that full moon to new moon energy. You put that card up on your altar, and then every day you're like, okay, slowly, this energy is leaving me. I'm going to stop procrastinating. Or rather, I will say, along with that, you can even put a card which will encourage you. So let's say with the Four of Cups there, I can say maybe, I can say, okay, I want to work with, and you can say, there you go. You can work with your magician energy, which you have done in the 15-day prior. You can say, hey, magician energy, guide me to get out of that Four of Cups energy, right? And you work with that imagery, you work with that, all the verse, the insights that you have received, say in the prior period, you work with it in the next cycle, and it's a lot of work. It's inner work. It's important, because this will get you to where you want to go eventually. This will bring you out of, oh, let's say, nowadays a lot of people are dealing with depression because of, the consistent lockdowns and this and that. Life has really changed, in various ways. So you can work with that energy. Or there are some long traumas that we are working with. You can work with that. So again, don't be bogged down by choices of, which deck. But if you can, go ahead, get those decks. I'm all for it. But if you don't, okay, use your second deck. Don't use your primary working deck. If you're a professional reader, or if you're in the habit of reading for yourself every day, then at least get a second one to do this work, because then you'll have one card out on your altar for at least 15 days, and that'll be a little, then you can't be always bringing it back and putting it back, just to do readings. It's, we all have second decks, I think, right? So anyway, the point is, that is what you have, what I do. Again, you can spice it up with all sorts of rituals if you want to. There is just no limit to that. Rituals are, I think rituals just perform a very simple function of getting you in the zone. So whatever works for you, do it. Okay. Yep, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. This is how you can work with the energies of the moon. Or even if you're like a month person, if you're like, okay, I plan for the month, then you can do that. You can also do the same ritual, say, for the first 15 days of the month and the remaining second 15 days of the month. You can do it that way, or you can align yourself with the moon phases and do it that way. Whatever works for you, man, it is awesome. Okay. And rituals, again, do what resonates with you. There's just, this is like, this is a more DIY kind of thing, but it is basically the main crux here is you and that image and the visual and the work that is happening inside in your psyche, in your subconscious, through journaling, through meditation, through affirmation, through repetition, through positive self-talk. Through all of this is when you are able to really process, the things that you need to process, and you can then work with this energy to bring stuff, like energy into your life, and to let go of certain energy from your life. So new moon to full moon, bring the energy in. Full moon to new moon again, whatever you need to let go. So this is a very cute, I think, ritual that you might want to try. That is what I do, and you can work with all kinds of cards for that ritual. So hey guys, so I figured I might as well show you the spread I pulled, or because why not? I've already made a long video. I might as well make it a little bit longer. Anyhow, so the thing is, I chose these cards. I didn't specifically look and choose these cards. I just, I drew these cards. Synchronicity and all that. I like to, take chances, live on the wild side. Okay, anyway, the point is, from the Archeo deck, I chose a card, or rather, I pulled a card which is to embody the archetype that I am supposed to work with during this 15-day period from today. And I believe it's the 23rd or something, 26th. I'm not 100%, but the point is, till the full moon day, the archetype that I'm supposed to embody and work with, right? From the Dark Mirror Oracle, I chose one card, or rather, I pulled a card which embodies the energy that I'm supposed to grow, because from new moon to full moon, this is the energy I'm supposed to bring into my life. Whatever, let's say, or the work, what the shadow work is here. And the Sacred Creator Oracle, I said, okay, give me an affirmation that will, keep me going through the week. Now, again, I have not really gone deep with these, so I'm going to depend on the books, obviously, to tell me more. And that is, how I work with, how I learn even sometimes the oracles that I play with, because again, there's a lot to process. So of course, my first hand thing will be, what I feel when I open the card, and then I will read the stuff that's there. So let's begin with the archetype. This one is called Angel. Can you see it says Angel over here, and there's a symbol of an angel. This is interesting. I don't see myself as one. So I don't know what the cards want to say here in terms of, this is the archetype I'm supposed to embody or work with. And the archetype of the angel inside of me, I kind of don't see myself as one. I've done a whole bunch of things which would probably qualify me to be a fallen angel, quote unquote, but not like an angel. Also, because of those various experiences, I don't even want to be seen as a goody two shoes, if you know what I mean. But let's see what the book says. I guess this one has got me all stumped. So I'm going to look at the book. Let's see what the book says. Angel. So that will be an A. Here we go, Angel. The pictures here. Right. Angel. You can see it. Attribute. From the outset, the angel has been assigned to you. She keeps you from mishap and makes sure you give your best, but her protection is not guaranteed. Her assistance comes in direct proportion to your willingness to search for truth. As long as you continue your soul's quest, she will be with you. But if you become lazy and refuse the journey, she will evaporate like mist into the ether. Wow. Persona. When darkness falls across the landscape, the angel protects us from the emissaries of disillusion. She is an angel of mercy. She is an angel of mercy, bringing gentle solace that holds at bay the night's bitter incubus, reassuring us through the loneliness of self-doubt, guiding us towards our soul's intent. She keeps us from straying too far into melancholy, and if we become overwhelmed by the rigors of our daily grind, she will help nourish us. Hovering in the gray between the tangible and the metaphysical, visible to no one but us, she speaks of truths that we are too frightened or too tired to articulate. She wraps us in her silvery wings. We feel her radiance coursing through our arteries, filling us with a poppy juice calm. She is a vigilant sentry and a luminous heart, exhorting us to be all that we can be, insisting we never settle for a tepid image of a lesser self. Wow. I mean, considering what I just talked about, procrastinating and dealing with, the whole sadness and depression, and the whole, energy that's at play. I believe this angel is talking about maybe perhaps an angelic or spiritual or divine sort of energy that's around me, that's always protecting me and guiding me. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is something I need to really now work. So this is going to be the exercise, right? I will have this book around me all the next 15 days, and especially this page, I will put a bookmark and I will come back to it and read it. And every day I'm sure it will spark. In fact, even right now, I'm like, okay, after this video, I'm just going to be sitting and journaling furiously about the thoughts that are jumping around my head with this image. So it's like, the archetypal energy of divine protection is what I'm looking at here. That's what I'm supposed to invoke, bring in, embody, work with, all of that during this next 15 days. Wow. Okay. Now the energy that I'm supposed to work with in order to sort of bring in and so forth, shadow work perhaps even. So let's see what that is. Envious gluttony. Ouch. Okay. All right. Let's see, because we have a very interesting image here of this very scary looking person, and envy and gluttony, obviously interesting. Okay. And there's a specific moon phase here. So, this deck also works with moon phases. and so this is interesting. Number 9, that's the number here, so it's easy to find. Here you go. Moon faces waxing gibbous, stage denial. Going to the edge of the ravine, savoring the idea of letting go all restraint. Visual seed. A man has rotting, sickly skin and yellow eyes. He dresses in tatters and sticky blood runs down his chin. He has clawed feet and a crown of skeleton alligator jaw. Upper part of his head, lower part on his chest like a gaping mouth. Okay, so this is the image that they're describing. This is the visual seed, right? Sentence. There is hunger sleeping just under the surface like an animal lurking. Ooh. Going dark. This card is not just dark, it is unpleasant, sickly, disgusting. The difference in how we feel in front of a vampire as opposed in front of writhing bugs. Wow. They don't mince words, do they? It's not an existential darkness that we can paint of romance, drama, and subtle anguish. It is raw, primal, reeking of rotting stench. Ow. I don't think this is the energy I want to bring into. I think this is more like the energy I'm supposed to work with. It feels like there's darkness, and in that black landscape, there is a hole leading to an even greater darkness, and that is calling. The urge is pressed down every time, played with, toyed with, treated like something that doesn't belong here. It's like rolling in the mud, bringing out the twisted, refreshing feeling of demeaning oneself. The key is that we don't want to recognize the depth of the envy and the anger. We casted it out of ourselves, and now it's truly a parasitic monster, impossible to accept as something that came out of ourselves. What if we bring light to the pitch dark well? What if the scary monster is just a scrawny, starved feeling? What if it's just a little thing? Dark is starred indeed, but to be sorry of, not to be feared. Oh wow, okay. So out of all this creepy stuff, they're saying this is true shadow work in a way. It's like they're saying, what if the stuff that that we find really, really disgusting inside of ourselves, we've thrown it out and we've cast it out, but and now we can't, but that feeling is still there. We feel we've cast it out, but it's not, right? We've just pushed it aside. This is oh my goodness. Okay, wow. All right, there's a lot to unpack here, for me personally, right? So because there was a time in my life where I used to comfort, eat to comfort myself. That's the gluttony part. And okay, all right, that goes into too much of personal stuff, but yeah, I know what now I know what it's talking about, right? And while I'm working with all this, something to encourage me, because I need the positivity now. This is also very positive, the angel. So it's more like, the angel is going to protect me as I work with this, right? And here we have, oh, look, the spark of hustle. Ow. Okay. The thing is, this is interesting because, again, this is calling on me to really, really work on it. Because, see, personally for me, I'm not that kind of person who will go out there and say, hey, come, I find it very hard to ask people to to come and basically say, take a class, take a reading, do this, do that. I mean, I'll put an ad out there, but I'm more like, yeah, I'm not a hustle and marketing kind of a person, which sucks, because if I can find a way to be one, it'll probably be awesome. So the spark of hustle, so maybe I should find a way. Let me see, what is number 17? Let me see what it says over here in the little book. Here we go. Essential meanings. Let me open this up. Essential meanings. The spark of inspiration, divine intervention. Here we go. Finding your calling, work that makes you happy, renewed hope. Self-care message. Hustling too hard, getting too lost in the grind. Workaholic tendencies, manifesting busyness, a time to be careful what you wish for. When inspiration hits and totally immerses your senses in the possible, that is the spark of hustle at work. It's when every cell of your body hums with the desire to put something out into the world. And when you feel that whoosh of energy that brings new ideas to life, it's like all Ace of Wands. The spark of hustle feels like a calling, a compelling, like something that cannot be ignored. The card is full of hope and expectation because it whispers, yes, it's coming. And yes, you can do this. Spirit is sending superstar blessings your way along with a passion that has been divinely amplified. Look for projects and experiences that are full of excitement and joy and say yes to opportunities that feel totally on purpose. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the magnitude of your sacred task, remember that big soulful endeavors usually push us to go beyond the limits of what we know to be possible. This is how we grow. Use the spark of hustle to evolve and expand because it is your guiding star. How much space do you leave in your calendar for the sparks of inspiration that will be? Are you allowing space for last minute ideas and inspiration? What do you do to actively fuel your flame of hope? Are you feeling resistance to the word hustle? Yes, yes, yes. What would an easy kind of fluid productivity look like? What needs to happen so that your flow feels like an unhustle? How can you make sure it fills your reserves rather than drains them? Oh, like these are journaling prompts. Oh, wow. So, see now, what happens is when you work, even when you work with decks that maybe you really don't know so well, right? You can use the books that come with these decks to guide you. They often have some, like in the Sacred Creators Oracle, they have journaling prompts. And sometimes when you look at the image, it's like what? But when you read the stuff that's in the book, it opens it up. Wow. So this was just a very practical, very, I would say even on a very surface level, sort of an example of how I worked with decks that I don't know, that are new to me in a way, and that I have not really had the time to sit down and genuinely play with, but I can bring them into my practice. I can bring them into my, routine in a way because of the books, and as I read them and I work with those energies. So this, maybe it will take a while, maybe it'll take maybe a few months, years, whatever, but eventually I'll work through this deck to a large extent. I can be like, okay, now I get this, right? So this is what I'm trying to say. You can work with these energies, and you can now, I know what I have to do, work with this and this. Each card, the archetypal energy that I'm working with, the shadow energy that I'm working with, and the inspirational message also that's come through. Again, you don't have to do all three or four or five, whatever. I mean, you can do as many decks as you like, or you can just work with one deck too. That, the point is, do what works for you, do what you're comfortable with doing. I'm just, through these videos and through these talks, I'm just giving you some examples, some ideas, some inspiration perhaps. That, hey, this is what you can do, this is what you can try out. So, yeah, go for it, try it, let me know what you think. And wow, this reading is going to take a moment to unpack, a lot of journaling. So, I guess I will see you again whenever I make my next video. Until then, stay good, be good, and play with your cards. And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, because I like seeing those likes popping up. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, yeah, you genuinely like my stuff. So if you like it, just, hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel, because I see sometimes in the analytics, I see a lot of people who are not subscribed to my channel. Plenty of them are watching the videos, so subscribe and hit the bell notification, so that way whenever I put up a new video, which is very random, there's no specific date, so whenever I put up a new video, you'll get a notification, so hey, Madhvi's put up a video, so you can come and see the video, and all of that good stuff. So just do it, it's free to subscribe. Spark of hustle. See, look at me immediately putting things into practice. I'm not making this stuff up, guys. All right, so I will see you soon. Until then, stay good, be good, play with your cards. Bye now. I hope you guys like this. And if you do, and if you give it, I know, give it a try, work with this, give it, give it a few months, work with this. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how this, helped you. Talk to me. You can, write to me. You can email me. You can also message me in the comments below. Uh, this is tarot in real life. This is how I use it. This is tarot and oracle cards. Actually, historically, I have been someone who's like, oh, oracle cards, I don't get them. But I have discovered, there are many, many creative people out there, and they have created different kinds of oracle decks, so which some of which I resonate with. Yay! So here's another way I spend my money. So anyhow, so I hope you guys like this and try this and let me know how it worked for you, and so on and so forth. And I wish you guys all the best of luck, and I wish everything that you want to bring into your life, you're able to bring in and manifest, and the things that you want to let go, you're able to do it. And I do wish all of us are able to use these beautiful tools that are available to us to work with them and work our own stuff, work through our stuff with them, and to help find a more peaceful, more joyful, more happy way to live our lives to the fullest. Yeah. So anyhow, like, share, and subscribe. Correct? Please do that. Subscribe to my channel and like this video, share this video, and I guess I will see you again soon whenever my fancy strikes and make a new video. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter. I do occasionally write those out too. And I'm thinking, day by day, as I start coming out of this whole, or more like I start, I'm able to uh, what do you call it, I'm able to deal with and work with these energies, whatever they are, and still create. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. As I'm able to do that, I will get back to writing more blog posts about these things and so forth. And so subscribe to my newsletter. I mean, and when the creativity starts to burst forth, you will get the first peek at it. And yep, I will stop talking now. So I will see you soon in my next video. Until then, stay good, be good, and play with your cards. Bye now.